Good morning. I thought I would make a quick video on replacing the the side mirror for an 82 Imperial. I've already pulled off the door panel here, and we have the door panel on the ground here. And it's pretty easy. The door panel on these is just screwed in, which makes it really, really easy. And you just remove it. And this one still had the original plastic on the door, which I'm actually going to put back, glue it back. And the side mirror on this one, there was an issue with it. It was basically bent back and scraped up pretty good. Someone hit it, and relatively recently. So anyway, this is actually the replacement. This actually works, which is great. And I had it in a box, and it had a really old label saying it works, and bought it that way. So anyway, long story short is I went ahead and took everything apart, and because we're getting this one ready to get it painted. And so I took everything apart, and I'm trying to basically do anything that could potentially scratch the car if I move my hand incorrectly or something like that. One of the other projects I'm actually working on is I painted behind the grill, and I painted the grill too, which will be the subject of another video. But anyway, the old mirror, which is this one right here, someone hit it right here at the corner, and it was also bent back pretty badly. And also didn't work. So unfortunately, unlike lots of other cars, you can't get new parts for this car. You also can't get, you can't just go to the store. There's very little support for these, especially things like mirrors and specific parts. You're basically relying on used parts from donor cars. So anyway, I took apart the door panel. There's a bunch of screws all the way around it, and then in the lens for the light in the door. And I was met with the following. There's a bolt there, and then there's two bolts that you get access to through these two holes. And you unscrew this rubber piece here. You also have to unscrew the rubber piece in the door and get that out of the way. And of course, this is the Sinatra edition. That was sitting since 1997 that I rescued a couple years ago. So we're now at the stage of getting it painted, and so I'm just trying to do some things to it to get it ready, and so then I don't have to worry about dropping things or scratching the paint or anything like that. So anyway, I was met with the 3 bolts. So there's one there and 2 above. And it's pretty straightforward, except if the bolts fall into the door, which that's why I have my little grabber here, so I can grab stuff that falls into small places that I cannot reach. So I put the mirror in. I had to finagle it in a little bit and move around the rubber trim, which is brittle, and I'm looking for a replacement for that. But I had to basically wiggle it in and then put it to the connector here. And what I'm going to do is actually put some electrical tape around this, because the old connector from the mirror is broken. That's the big problem about these 70s and 80s cars that I work on and that I own, are all these little plastic connectors. They certainly can go bad very easily. And unless you have a garaged car, if it was outside at any point of its life, one of the big problems, of course, is these little plastic connectors can get brittle. So the replacement mirror, this is the replacement mirror side. It already had a broken connector. The car side is good, and then you just push it all the way in, but I'm going to go ahead and put some tape around that just to have it stay. And then what I'm going to do is all this goes back into the door. There's a clip here to put the wiring in, and of course that will be the next part of this video, which is after we have everything back together. So but anyway, it's a pretty straightforward operation. The door panel, this door panel has a seat adjustment, It has a window motor and it has a power door lock button. So this side's pretty simple. Not as much wiring as the driver's side, which I had to take off about 1.5 years ago because the pole actually broke on it. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll do a follow-up. Okay, so we're back. Just as a follow-up to replacing the mirror, and a little bit of an update on the Sinatra Edition Imperial. The Sinatra, of course, is the rarest of the Imperials, though there's some debate on color combinations, things like that, but this was a special package. This car sat since 1998, and a couple years ago I rescued it. It was free, and I just had to pay for it to be shipped to my house about 5 hours away. And so we're getting it ready to get it painted, and I'm trying to get all the items done that could possibly scratch paint if I drop something. So, and I know some of you out there are probably laughing at me, but I'm pretty paranoid when it comes to these things. So the project today was the side view mirror, and we're going to go ahead and test it. It's a little dirty. I intend to clean it later, but let's go ahead and see if it works. And we'll go ahead and zoom in on it and see if it works. Oh, wrong button. Oh, wow. It works. Imagine that. Though the up and down is not working very well. I'm thinking it could be my switches over here. They're not that great. But it does go in and out, which is good. And a pretty good clip too. So I guess the old label was correct. It did work. And so I'm very happy with that, obviously. And it's a good solution to the problem. And of course the mirror, as I mentioned previously, had been bent and damaged. So I wanted to go ahead and replace it. And we're gonna polish it up and everything. So the next project is I am working on spray painting the grille. The black in between the chrome slats goes bad and it looks really horrible, and so I've gone ahead and spray painted that. I'm still cleaning it up, so I'll put that on a little later. The grille, of course, is very tricky to install, and so we'll show that in a later video. But this is the 82 Sinatra Edition Imperial, and no in-person those are not flickering. That's just the camera refresh rate. There we go. So that's just the camera rate. As you can see, I move it over and it's fine. So anyway, until our next video, have a great day.